Ian opened my eyes to a world of the unknown, a world of energy and frequency and vibration, a world that created spontaneous healings, a world that created transformations, and a world that felt magical and mystical. And the science behind it is as clear, and I'm as clear as I've ever been to help you understand the science of the unknown, the science of the mystical. Hello, my vibrant beings. Welcome back to the FLOWE podcast. I am your esteemed host, Kelly Kennedy, and I am thrilled to be here, and I'm doing another solo cast. So last week, if you were with me, or last episode when you were with me, you probably heard about can you handle the truth and my slip and my slam story. I want to just update you. So much has changed since we started this podcast 4 years ago now, and I am celebrating 4 years. That's really amazing, and I so appreciate how many of you have been such loyal learners and listeners for that entire time. I just, honest to God, looked at how many of you are downloading my episodes every month, and I was humbled, to say the least. I'm so grateful to every one of you and for supporting me in this journey of this amazing opportunity to bring you through the waves of the internet, the colleagues, the foundational principles and practices to teach you to flow and to help empower you and engage you in your own journey of healing, and to really get to the heart of the matter that all the healing's within you. There's blockades to healing, being the dental foci, the scars on the physical body, the deep emotional belief systems, and the subluxations. Once we address those 4 blockades to healing, then we are facilitators of our own healing. So what's new at True Wellness is so many things. First of all, I have to say that since I broke my elbow, this is kind of a funny thing. It has nothing to do with medicine or anything. It's just these onesies. If you don't know about onesies, I'm here to tell you, as a 50-year-old woman, I can't believe it took me 50 years to come up and discover the onesie. I started wearing them in January when I broke my elbow. And when I looked back at my Instagrams and all my lives for the last 5 or 6 months, I'm like, my Lord, you all must think that this is all I wear. So I'm here to tell you, I literally purposely wore my onesie for this podcast today to be like, yep. And I'm going to do some videos for the lymph and the fascia today, because this is the epitome of flow clothes. Like, I don't have any kind of, I'm just covering my breasts. I'm not in any supportive thing. Of course, I'm gifted to not need support in my breast, but very like loose fitting, a loose fitting pair of underwear, which is, to be honest with you, very unusual for me. And then this, and that's it. And it's like, I'm ready to go. I've got lots of flow, lots of movement, and nothing restricting my energy, my temperature. And if I get chilly, I take my wrap that Ian got me in India, which is a beautiful handmade silk wrap, and I just throw it around me in the air conditioning, and I'm good to go. So our clothes are important. One of the things that I've done in the last year is go through my closet and get rid of all the plastic clothes, get rid of all the Lycra and the spandex. And buying cotton clothes is not easy, or natural fiber clothes, wool, fabric, silk, and is really good. I have found bamboo is very toxic in how it's processed, so just be aware of that. But that's just one of the things that I just want to mention, that we talk so many things about, like bio-loving. I'm not going to call it biohacking, but bio-loving. And we kind of forget some of these foundational things that we're exposed to all the time, which is our clothes and our underwear and our bras and the things that are up against our skin. So I have never purchased a ton of the exercise pants. It's never just really, the Lycra things. I've only had like 1 or 2 pairs around, but they were not cheap ones. And having to throw away like $400 worth of Lycra pants was not easy. And then trying to find cotton alternatives to them also wasn't easy, but I will say it's worth it. And I just mention that here because it's important for us to be aware that even the jewelry we wear, like I make sure I don't get nickel plated anything, because all of that is stuff that our lymph system has to deal with. Okay. So that little rant's over with. So just want to update you a little bit about what's happening. I'm going to change the podcast a little bit more. As you know, we did one a week rather. Then I went to one a month for a while, and then I've been doing 2 a month. And really where I'm at this point is I want to continue to educate you. And I want to be honest that this is a very expensive hobby for me, that creating this podcast takes time and energy, and it takes a lot of money, in all honesty, to produce it and to then get it out there. And I've never asked for a sponsor in all the years because I never wanted to feel like somebody was telling me what to say or anything like that. I always have wanted to be just authentic and give you the Kelly Kennedy stamp of approval for this way of thinking, this technology, this product or whatever. And so I've stayed really authentic and true to that. So to that end, however, what I'm going to do is I'm creating a new form of our podcasts, and we're going to still do a free form, but they're going to be limited to like 30-minute sessions instead of, as you know, I can be a bit long-winded, and so can my guests, because we really like to go down that rabbit hole. But we're going to start to split it. So we have a 30-minute kind of simplified version, and then an additional section or additional part of that podcast, whether it's 30 minutes or 40 minutes, that'll be on a membership board called the FLOWE Forum. And it'll be a subscription model, a membership model. You have 2 different ways that you can look at it, and this will all be explained to you. But essentially, it's going to be the podcast only or the podcast plus all the other assets, essentially, that we want to offer our members on a virtual program. So it's going to be $7 a month. It's not a ton of money. But if that's something you want to just subscribe for, just know in the next month or 2, you're going to see, oh, I only have a 30-minute podcast that's free. And then if I want the rest of that information, I just subscribe. And for $7 for the month, I get all that content on those podcasts and any podcast previous and any other additional information we may eventually put on there. Then there will be a second membership program for a total of $23. You'll get all the podcasts, plus you'll get a bunch of other information about fascia, lymph, oxygen, water, and energy. There will be videos, there will be articles, there will be a recipe forum, a recipe blog, rather. There's going to be a lot of basically everything that we put out there organized in a way that you can research it better, you can know what to do in a simplified version, like a 3-minute, a 15-minute, an hour-long video. Like we've been working on this for a while, and it's been on my heart to realize that to help people virtually and locally, it does take a lot of education and a lot of reframing. And the best way to do that, I can feed it to you one bit at a time, but that can be expensive and time-consuming. So if I start to put together in podcast or on YouTube and start to create this information, I don't want it just accessible to everybody. I want it accessible to those of you that really care. And then I want to make sure that you get the extra special information for those of you that really care. So podcast, again, will always be free for the first 30 minutes or so. And then for the deeper dive, you'll pay a $7 membership and you'll have access to all of it. And honestly, that'll go to support my end game of continuing to produce that and to actually up it a little bit. I have a new way that I want to take that podcast forum with working with the interviewees to actually have them in person and have us actually work together a little bit and then create a podcast. But that's going to take me a little time. And this is one of my ways to get there. And then secondly, the other side of that is this membership that we want to create, or that we're creating rather, the extended, called the whole forum, not just the podcast, but the whole FLOWE Forum, which is really to educate you about vital living and the foundational steps to how to make that happen. And here's all the ways to do it. So that'll be coming to soon to a theater near you. And it's really a curriculum to teach you and employ you how to put in the basic concepts, the foundational living principles, so that you don't have to work so hard to be well. So you're not so dependent upon supplements. You're not so dependent upon therapies. You're not so dependent upon cleaning up because you've changed over the fascia, the lymph, the oxygen, the water, the energy, and you've allowed the body to be in that healing state. So what else is new? So we have some new webinars. So the first 2 years of the podcast, I really focused a lot on the lymphatic system and the terrain and getting people to realize the dental piece. Remember when we thought the only problem was mercury? That was like 20 years ago, or maybe this is new for you. And remember when you thought the only problem was mercury? Isn't that funny? A friend of mine said that the other day. Carrie Hayes, a local life coach here to the area, who's been a client and a practitioner and a friend and a colleague and has helped run the practice in different ways throughout the years. And when she said, I literally cracked up. She's like, remember when we thought mercury was the only problem? I'm like, oh my God, Carrie, that was for like 5 minutes. And then it was like, well, it's EBV too. Oh, wait, it's also their dental root canals and their implants. Oh, wait, it's their scars. Oh, wait, it's the mold. Oh, wait, it's this. And I get it. It can feel very complex, but don't forget, only what heals you is inside of you. You don't need anything outside of you. You need to address the blockades. Then you need to upregulate the body. And how do we do that is what we teach you. So, podcast, the new forum, the membership forum to support both virtual and local clients to get the comprehensive approach to be able to understand and hand by hand, step by step, take you through cleaning up your home, cleaning up your environment, internally and externally on the physical, emotional, mental, energetic, and the spiritual levels so that you can live heaven on earth and truly live in a state of flow. So the first 2 years was more about lymph. The next 2 years became more about fascia because I realized that everybody was talking about lymph now, but nobody was realizing that the scars and the fascia were contributing to the lymphatic stagnancy. And so if somebody wasn't getting the results they wanted with lymph, I started talking about fascia and scars to get them to understand that piece. So the last 2 years has really primarily been focused on the fascia, the living matrix of the body. And so I did a summit, my co-host Siobhan Sarna, and we have lots of content about that. And so many of you have heard me talk now about the Kush ball or the blocking. And there's just so many aspects of the fascia that we really need to look at. And I also created a scar masterclass this year. If you're not familiar with that and you have scars, which you all do because you have a belly button, that's a 2-hour lecture with practical information as well. So it's not just information, it's also practical application of scars and how to treat your scars non-invasively, and also what to do moving forward with a practitioner so that you really know how to help yourself. So with that advent of, I really got to teach scars and they really need to understand that, I really became present to the fact that even though I've written a book on it, even though I have an entire podcast on it, even though I sell technology, both Flow, Prezo, and Sound the Soul, if you're a practitioner, you're interested in those two technologies, those are two technologies that I represent in the United States. And yet the nervous system, the heart rate variability is something that I still feel that's given a lot of lip service out there, but not a lot of people truly understand it. They might know how to assess it, but they don't really know how to interpret it. And because of that, they don't really know how to help people in the deepest way and with the most comprehensive way. So I know I have a lot of tools, and I know that I'm very fortunate to have the exposure and the access that I've had for the last 20 years. But I also know that that's happened because I've been driven to find how this body works. I've been driven with my passion to then not only learn it myself, but then to teach you. And so I had to teach fascia first, or lymph first, then fascia. And so now I'm focused on teaching heart rate variability. So I'm coming up to a master class that's coming up next month in July for just that, for heart rate variability. This is for both clients and practitioners. I ask you to come with your questions because I want to make sure you understand it when we're all said and done with this class, because this is the key to your healing. And when you think you have a good or a bad one, you don't really understand heart rate variability. Your heart rate variability isn't good or bad. It just is. And it's interpretation of what it's telling you so that you can make behavioral changes. When you make the behavioral changes, you see the upgrade in the variability, you see the higher HRV, if you will, and now you know that you've changed physiology based upon the behavioral changes. Now you can document through heart rate variability. That's how we heal, assess it, and then optimize it. And we continue to do that. I also have the nebulization kits that we've had a lot of success with in the last few years. And if you're not familiar with our neb kits, we have 6 nebulization kits that are meant for your home healthcare. They're the advantage for you to increase your lymphatic flow, your liver flow, to release trauma from the body, to facilitate that, to facilitate the immune system or the gut health or the lung health. So it's lung, lymph, immune, liver, trauma, and gut. So those are the 6 kits. And each one is 3 homeopathics of complex homeopathy, which is really just information put into sterile structured water vials that you then home nebulize through forced air, allowing the body to sit still, breathe consciously, and give the body new information. So why is that successful? Because 1, I'm putting the body in the parasympathetic mode, forcing it to consciously breathe. Yes. 2, I'm increasing the drainage because of the deep breathing. I'm pumping my termini and my cisterna by just consciously deep breathing. And then I'm giving the body the information through the homeopathics to upregulate, and I'm taking enough time of 20 minutes to really reset that parasympathetic nervous system while it takes that information. So it's in receiving mode, and now it can take that information and actually move forward with it. So they're a phenomenal way to give you that advantage you're looking for your respiratory system, for your mucosa system, for your sinuses, for your lymph, or for your gut. And I also ask if you've had a lot of success with that, you've had some wins, we'd love for you to share that with us so we can share that with others, because there's so many different ways that they've helped people. And I love to hear those stories, but I also am aware that I'd love to share those stories. So if you're open for sharing your wins, please let us know so we can share that with others. I also, we have a lot going on over here. So we have the podcast form that's changing. We're opening the new membership virtual program. In the office here at the center, we have retreat days, which is new. We've only done this the last couple of months, and they are going to stay with us. We absolutely love them. So they're a full day from 9 to 5. Lunch is included. It's a group session. It is immersion, so there is interaction, but it's education with therapy. So you get to experience a lot of the equipment here, as well as you get to experience some of the techniques. And you get to be tutored by myself, Ian, and Sarah. Sarah does more of the lymph and the scar tutoring. I do more of the heart rate variability and the breath work. And Ian is doing more of the emotional and the allergy work as far as education and giving you a sample that day. But for those of you that are local, or maybe you're not local, we had quite a few people fly here to experience this, but you just want to tip your toe in and see what it's like to really go through an experience of true wellness and really immerse yourself in with all the saunas and the vibration acoustic bioharmonic beds and the quantum aligned PMF mats with infrared and all the minerals from all the gemstones. That's what this retreat day is for. It's a very affordable $325 or $350. I forget. Don't quote me on that. But it gives you a lot of information and a lot of leg up so that you understand better what you're doing here. And therefore, if you understand it better, you can maximize it and optimize it, not only here, but what you're doing at home and why you're doing it. I've had clients that have been with us for 18 years. I've had clients that have been with us for 1 day. And the response I get is, oh my gosh, now I understand what I've been doing for 18 years. Or, oh my gosh, I kind of knew what you guys did because I've been around it for 10 years through a family member, but now I really understand how my body works. And that was phenomenal. So we're going to continue those. And if that's something you want to join us, please go to our website or reach out to us via email. And they had that on Tuesdays. We're switching them to Fridays, so it's a little easier for people to join us. And then you get an extra long weekend because you take your Friday off, you come here, you have your retreat day, and then you get to enjoy the down time after that. Because what we realized on Tuesdays, nobody wanted to go back to work on Wednesday. So we changed it to Fridays. So those of you who know Ian, my husband, the great secret weapon here at the True Wellness Center, he has been working with a technology called immune modulation, allergy, elimination technology for the last 3 to 4 years. He's had wildly great success with it. It's based upon a technique called Nanpudra allergy elimination technique that Ian has been using for 20 or 30 years now. So he's very familiar with the premise, but it's like an upgraded version of that. And so we've been working with people virtually for the last couple of years for the first time ever. And we found a way, we've had amazing success, but we do find that it's not just a one and done, that it is like a process, a sequence that your body has to go through, a protocol, if you will. So we've put together some packaging. We're going to be launching that soon. And Ian Kennedy is willing to see people emotionally, virtually. I've been waiting for 25 years. He's going to work with people virtually on their emotions through the IMAET. So if that's something you're interested in, watch your emails and watch it keep coming. And then the last is, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. So I rescued a dog a couple weeks ago. His name's Neo. I'm Trinity. He's Neo. We're really here now. We're deprogramming you all from the matrix and back into your own matrix to help you find your inner healing. But most of all, what I want to just say is that 27 years ago, I was introduced to this amazing medicine through this amazing man who I am lucky enough to call my husband. And Ian opened my eyes to a world of the unknown, a world of energy and frequency and vibration, a world that created spontaneous healings, a world that created transformations, and a world that felt magical and mystical. And the science behind it is as clear, and I'm as clear as I've ever been to help you understand the science of the unknown, the science of the mystical. And I look forward to continuing to give you back all that you've given me in tenfold from the support and the love, to give you back the love and the nurturing through education and through opportunities to enhance your wisdom within, to allow you to be your best physician and your best pharmacist from within by enhancing your own flow state. And I have plans for amazing people to be on this podcast very soon, including Veda Austin, including the infamous Dr. Catherine Clinton, Dr. Christine Schaffner, of course, my go-to gal for all things quantum. We are going to continue to delve in to the deep rabbit holes. And I want to know from you, my loyal listeners, how can I serve you? That's what I want to know. What do you want to know? Please be interactive with me and let me know, what can I bring to you? What do you want to know more about? Because I have the time I've carved out to give you what you need, but I need to know from you. I want to hear from each one of you. I'm going to make a concerted effort to get somebody on my team to reach out to every one of you loyal listeners. And it's going to take some months because of how many there are. Again, I was a bit overwhelmed by how many there were. There was an extra 0 than what I expected. It was way bigger than I thought. And I'm so humbled by this. And it doesn't change what I want to do. I want to reach out to you. Well, I personally can, but I'm going to have somebody from my team reach out to you via email. And I want to know, what content do you like? What do you not like? What do you want more of? Because I'm here to serve you. Yes, I'm here to serve my family and serve myself as well. But I now know with clarity how I can do that. I see the flow forum. I see the flow formula, the flow technique, the flow vibe, the flow prezzo. There's a lot of flow in my life. I know that I have the tools and the education and the immersion to facilitate you. But what more do you need from me? I will always find the answers. I'm a dog with a bone. If I don't have the answers, if I don't know about it, I will find it. I know that peptides and bioregulators are something that I'm researching this year, and I'm going to bring more of that information to you. For instance, that's one of the things that I'm interested in, that I want to know more about before I bring it to you. But then I want to bring the experts to you so you can learn more about it. But how else can I help you? I truly am the luckiest girl because I get to do the best job which is I get to care for myself, learn how that enhances my vitality, and then I get to share it with you. And I get to share it with our clients in person. I get to share it with our clients virtually. So not only do I want to know what I can do for you, but I also want to know what we have done for you. I am encouraging you to just give me a quick, here's my name, here's what I was dealing with, this is what I learned from you, and now this is where I'm at. Just a quick information of what has helped you, because I need that sometimes. I need to know that what I'm doing is working. I need to know that all this effort that I'm putting out is actually reaching somebody, and that you care, and that you want to listen, and that you want more of it. I mean, when I heard the number of how many people are downloading, I went, okay, wow, okay, maybe I will continue with the podcast. Because I'll be honest, there was a part of me that was like, why am I doing this? I don't know that it's increased in listenership at all. Well, and then I looked at into the insights. I was like, oh, okay, it actually has increased. But what more can I do for you? And then can you share with me what it's done for you so that I get lifted up sometimes too? Because, I need that. I need to know that you're doing better out there, because that gives me energy so I can keep finding new ways to help you and instruct you to have more things for you to do. So I'm going to end because I feel like I'm being long-winded now, but just know that you're always in my hearts. I'm always looking for more elegant ways to help you facilitate your healing. Come to my HRV class and learn. I have some little wisdom pearls for you if you don't have a sound of soul, and how you can improve your heart rate variability, even if you don't have this amazing technology near you, yet using your own healing frequency. So we're going to have some fun. I look forward to that being a truly interactive experience. And thank you for the love that you've sent me, for all the healing vibes you've sent me over the last 5 months. I have felt them. And relax and recognize that you are good enough, and that life is easy and joyful. Until next time, this is Kelly Kennedy from True Wellness, and this is the FLOWE Podcast.